The unsettling, probably even an incongruous reality of a universally rich church and a poor Christ has always disturbed me. With this, I struggled theologically and emotionally for many years, more so as a devotee of the religion of Jesus of Nazareth, as an ordained Methodist minister, and as a person who is grounded in essentially middle-class values. I'm one of the privileged of the earth. I have much of this world's goods, as many people in the West do. In the words of one writer, I was a person who suffered from bafflement, that is, trying to make sense of a privileged, relatively rich Christian and a poor Christ whom I worship and adore. So in this first of my books that came out in 1980, I embraced the opportunity to explore the interconnectedness or otherwise between poverty, Christianity, and various scientific, theological, and cultural constructs. I concur entirely with the writer, the theologian Frederick Herzog, who says, "Theology that doesn't take the poor into account isn't theology." So if we're going to really do Christian theology at all, it, in my opinion, has to involve the most depressed and the weakest among us. So this book attempts a wide-ranging analysis of poverty in so-called developed, that is in the North American context, as well as underdeveloped or so-called third world countries. I argue that there's a basic sameness of all human deprivation, whether it's in a rich country or culture or community or a poor one. It's a book which seeks to move Christians in particular of all socioeconomic stripes to a consciousness of solidarity with the poor and, as was said very often in the 70s, the least among us. A high point of this particular book has been receiving the warm endorsements of my mentor pastor, the Reverend Edwin Taylor, and also of world-renowned, beloved colleagues, distinguished professors, M. Douglas Meeks, who was my doctoral advisor, and also Walter Brueggemann, world-renowned, William C. Paddock, a specialist in poverty and agriculture, and James H. Cone. And so I trust that people who read this book will be moved closer to understanding the difficulties of the poor and a greater involvement in their own Christian faith, or if they have no faith at all for that matter.